fuck is going on, everybody? Beautiful out here today. Yeah, so see the mountains in the background or not? Probably not. I'm just chilling. Family's gone fishing. I'm gonna get them in the distance behind me. No. No, can't get them in there, but they are back there, over there on that dock. That's my family. They're all doing the fishing thing today. They're having a good time. Alright, so yeah, that's what we're doing today. We're out here fishing. Having a good old time. Right now I'm kind of in the car, as you can see. Just trying to put the phone somewhere where you can see me. I have a smoke while the family's out there doing whatever. But yeah, what's going on? To talk about. I had something specific I want to talk about. Now I'm drawing a fucking blank. Can't remember what the fuck I was going to tell you guys about. But I had to do something with something important. Oh yeah, Gnosis. So, I've been telling people how I manifest stuff. And the majority of what I do is candle magic. My specific brand of candle magic, where I literally write my entire statement of intent. Well, not really a statement of intent, because it's, to me, your statement of intent, well, I guess it depends on the practitioner, but my statement of intent, it generally breaks down what I will into being, basically. So I will such and such a thing. You know, I will the harm free from what it be, or whatever you decide. But you know, if it's Sunday, for example, today, woke up, no power was on. I wanted to be able to take a shower with hot water, and so I put on the candle. Like, okay, well, I'm grateful for the sun for having electricity in my house to take a shower before we leave for the baseball game, which the baseball game got canceled because of rain, which is not even raining. But and then I took a cold shower because I couldn't wait anymore, and then I got completely off my mind, and people are complaining, and electric company said it was going to be out for a while. So didn't know what the problem was. And like, it was like 20 minutes it was off, and then it came back on, you know. So basically I said that, and then I said a few other things on the candle, whatever I want to happen. And because I've been doing it now for about a year, I'd say it's got to be at least 8 months I've been writing statements on candles. And when I used to write them, they didn't happen this fast. But I have this state of gnosis. I have, I don't know how you word that correctly, but I now, gnosis has a different meaning, and there's a Thoth life from Frederick Xavier on what the fuck is going on. All right. Before I start talking and rambling on and saying a bunch of shit, just to play some Manly P. Hall here. One of my favorite philosophers. Alan Watts is probably my go-to most of the time, but Manly P. Hall is fucking top notch, man. And there's a lot of things he says in this one, and I'm just gonna play 5 minutes here, maybe 7. Sorry if it's long, and if you don't want to listen to it, don't. This is gonna be the video version. If you were listening to this on the podcast, it's still going to be 7 minutes on this part, and then I'm going to probably talk for 20 to 40, and then I'm going to play the majority of this. But if you're watching this on YouTube, I suggest checking out this episode, this whatever it is from Manly P. Hall. It's definitely worth checking it out. But from everything he says in here, he describes all the children of Zeus, the gods, which are the planets, which are the energies within your body. He describes the macrocosm and the microcosm in such good depth. And then he talks about Zeus and Hades being Cronus, and, you know, Saturn, and Zeus being Jupiter, and then how Apollo is Jupiter's son, which is kind of like the sun, which is a metaphor from God to Christ and all that, how it was first, but he's not really specifying that it was first or anything like that. He's just explaining the ancients and the story, and it's amazing. He even talks about how there's no karma in the physical realm with your body and all that. You know, whenever you get embodied into this earth, karma's paid. And it's funny because I said that in an episode not that long ago. If you're born without an arm, it's like, well, you fucking chopped off like people's arms in your past life. You come back with no fucking arms and no fucking legs. There's no God out there. There's no God out there telling me fucking be like, that little fucking arm prick, I fucking hate that bastard. No. You come into the material realm based on your last. Anyways, the karma concept that everybody has in their head, what goes around comes around, is just a principle to lock you in. Now there is a circuit, and there is incoming and outgoing and shit like that. But it's not the way it's described. What the fuck? Sorry, I was hearing somebody behind me fucking doing street talks. Fucking punk kids shit fucking things. I don't know. Maybe it's even rats. I don't think so. But who the fuck knows? Point is, I'm going to play this a little part right here right now. I want you to listen to it. And I'm going to come back and explain some shit about the planets and gods and titans and watchers, fallen angels, giants, Nephilim, all that shit I'm going to explain. And just going to speculate, make some correlations. Maybe it's going to be useful. Maybe it won't. Who knows?
Signifies primarily the keeper of the ghosts of illusion, or as the medieval mystics and magicians called it, the sphere of the astral light. This is the garden of Klingsor in Parsifal, the garden that is brought into existence by enchantment, or the strange magic garden referred to by the French transcendentalist Eliphas Levi in his work on transcendental magic, in which he says it is a beautiful garden filled with wonderful flowers, each one with a deadly serpent twisted around its stem. This is the world of Mara of Buddhism, the world of the excess and the desire from which man must escape. Therefore, in the underworld of the Greeks, ghosts, shadows, are forever performing unnecessary and impossible tasks, having no real subsistence, and becoming the victims constantly of those excesses which they practiced on earth, as referred to or paralleled in the story of Dante's Inferno. These, of course, are the illusions, the ghosts, the shadows, by which most men live, causing Plato to say that men go to this abode not when they die, but when they are born. It is life controlled by illusion. And over this illusion sits a grave and ancient Hades, who is the keeper of this, and whose three-headed dog forever guards the gates of this infernal region. The ancient Greeks, however, did not regard this region primarily as one of punishment. They regarded it as one of hopelessness, are going on forever. Perhaps perhaps some of them were psychologists and had clients. If they have, they would know what this hopelessness means. That you can change, because it is not here that the change can be effected. Now this leaves us one more deity and one more sphere to accomplish, and that is body, which is the next lowest in this cycle of the ladder of worlds. For this ladder, as you can sense already, is very largely a psychological ladder, a ladder of factors. Now the material world was to the ancients not a principle or an abode of principles, but a reservoir or receiver into itself of the principles of other things. Therefore, there is no karma or debt related to earth. All debt is paid in relationship to some other cause, and the drama is simply played out here. Thus, body is no cause of evil in itself. Man is not ever punished for being embodied. That is sufficient retribution in itself. Man is punished merely through the body, symbolically, for the things which he does to the body, and by doing them through his own body to the bodies, lives, and natures of others around him. It is always the person in the body who is the carrier of responsibility, never the body itself. Therefore, strangely enough, the Greeks had a very beautiful thought about the body. They said that it belongs to matter, and that, wonderful and strange as it may seem, matter, which to us seems to be so rather disagreeable a thought, standing for materialism and all that thing, actually matter is forever pure. Matter of itself can never be defiled. There is nothing cleaner than a good clean handful of good clean dirt. Matter in itself is never evil. It is never actually polluted by what anyone can do to it. Anything living in a material state pollutes only itself when it attempts to pollute matter. Matter is never polluted. Therefore, to the Greeks, matter was the world virgin, an eternal principle that is forever the victim of others, and yet, regardless, is never defiled. Because matter is wonderfully enough never soiled, but things living in it soil themselves and each other through their conduct. But when they depart and that body goes back to the earth again, it is pure again. It is the impurity of the person and not the body. For nature purifies everything, and in nature nothing that is corrupt is left. It must always be purified again. And so, it's not unreasonable that to this sphere they should assign their deity Hestia, whom we call Vesta. Vesta itself suggesting not only purity, but also vestment, the body. And the body, therefore, is the eternal virgin, because of itself it never defiles itself, because it is not a principle. It can never do evil, because it can never do anything. It is always the result of other things operating upon it, that causing it to have innumerable appearances. Therefore, modestly draped in the ancient costume of the time, with the fold of her robe over her head, Vesta remains forever the verdant earth, beautiful, pure, beyond defilement, and those who would defile it defile themselves. This is a very interesting philosophical point if we want to study it. So here we have what we might term not only persons of a drama, but we have, like Faust, a play in 5 acts. Each of these acts taking place on one of these levels, under the sphere and body of one of these.
Alright. So I hope you enjoyed that. Oh shit, let me turn this bitch on. I hope you enjoyed that. Got a little bit of an outing from it. I played the part before that. Now, the way he describes Mercury, the spirit of Mercury or whatever, the energy of Mercury was fucking really good to play it, but I didn't. The ending part you caught, ending of the Mercury one, I can't remember. I fell asleep to it, woke up. I've heard it before, but point is, check this shit out. It's awesome. But I want to talk a little bit about what he's talking about how matter, the material, is pure. There's no karma for material. Now, the first thing that comes to mind when I hear this is simply the Christian portrayal of original sin. Now, as soon as you're born, you have original sin. Now, Manny P. Hall is saying that that is bullshit, just like I've been saying, just like lots of people said. Now, you've done bad acts in your life, and you've received bad probably in return for those bad acts in your life. If you have the programming in your mind that if you do something bad will happen to you, then that's going to happen to you. But the law that we are governed by when it comes to this is simply, if you send out negative energy, you are the source that created that negative energy. You sent that out, and then it comes back to you because you are the creator. Just like our God or earth material, our soul comes from, this is how I perceive it, our soul, okay, the thing that's in us, the thing that's linked to the subconscious mind, that's connected to everybody from the unconscious mind, okay, this thing that the DMT trip you have when you sleep and you have your dreams that you can kind of control, and that's kind of what happens when you die. You get released through your DMT. If you know how to navigate yourself, you might make it to other realms through your consciousness. Basically, you're trying to add some part of your consciousness to your subconsciousness. This is what lucid dreaming is. This is what astral travel is, how I understand it. You're trying to add your consciousness to these things. Likewise, you can consecrate things like my bandana I have consecrated. Not this axe that I'm sharpening right now. This is just my tool I use for chopping things and doing things, and a weapon, since I'm not allowed to have guns. So whatever comes from me, because I'm either a witch or just because shit's hitting the fan and they're rounding up everybody who doesn't want to wear a mask or get vaccinated, well, they're getting a fucking axe to the face. But that's not going to happen in my reality. I already know that. I just am very drawn to metalworking. And maybe it's because, you know, I'm a witch. And apparently the Watchers, the fallen angels, came down and fucked women. They became witches. And they taught them astrology and the art of spell casting and all that other bullshit that fucking Bible's trying to tell people. And I'm going to get into that in a little bit. So maybe I like the metalworking part, because I can sharpen this bitch every day. Actually, I got my 3 different files down here right now, and that's exactly what I was doing while I was listening to Manny P. Hall. But anyways, so the first thing that comes to mind, and when he says espa, I forget the word he says, but that's Venus, is that he doesn't get to that, but that's the word for Venus, representing the Earth's material realm, right? And it just makes you think of the word investments, and French, vestaille is your clothing. Vestaille is actually somewhere, Versailles is somewhere in Paris and in Quebec. But vêtement is also clothing. Or your vest, right? You wear a vest, bulletproof vest, you know what I mean? Material realm. So anyways, when he's saying that there's no karma in this material plane, this material realm, it's exactly what I was trying to get at whenever I said, you think there's a God up there who loves us all and yet gives people to come in. And, you know, according to Dolores Cannon, we pick our incarnations. And it's a nice way to look at it, too. I don't think it's completely accurate, but it's a nice way to look at it, is that, you know, we're all up there chilling. And we are this soul, this spark of the one source, and we're going to pick our incarnations. And apparently there's a bigger line to get into handicapped people, whether it's mentally or physically, because they have a shorter life. They have a harder life down here, but the harder lives are the most rewarding ones, versus, you know, the movie stars, the rich lives. Those are the easy lives. You get to come down here and you have heaven on earth, basically. You don't have to suffer through it. And, you know, it's a great way to look at it, but it's her interpretation, and I'm not saying she's wrong. I think there's many interpretations, and there's no way to ever really prove what happens. And the best you can do is ask yourself internal questions, and then when you get answers that are right, when it comes to what am I supposed to do, okay, and you follow that path, and you become what you're supposed to do, and you keep following these different paths, and the intuitional answers you get are always correct. Well, then you can ask deeper questions, and there's no reason to doubt it if you're already getting good answers. Now you can say, well, it's demons that you're talking to, this and that. Well, let's talk about that for a second. I forget the dude's name, but is it Plato? No. Paracelsus? No. Fuck. There's a guy, he's got many books, and you should read them. And he was going to be charged or whatever, way back in the day. He had a daemon that he talked to. It was how he called it. And this is where demon comes from and all this stuff. But the daemon was where he got all his information. Actually, Manny P. Hall talks about it, either in this one or the one right after this one, how we all have a spirit that no one can see, but that's always with us, that we can talk to. And to me, it's not necessarily a spirit. It might be just your subconscious mind that you can ask questions to. But nonetheless, it was described as a daemon, and this always gave him. And when he said, should I run? Should I flee? Should I leave so they can't catch me and kill me? The daemon said, no, don't do that. And he went to jail and said he followed his advice. I'm sure someone knows what I'm talking about. Point is, stay away from that demon crap bullshit, man. That's there just to scare you. Once again, I'm not saying there isn't demons, but depending on where you look, they're going to tell you, well, the fallen angels are demons. Well, no, fallen angels were angels that left heaven, and then they fucked people, and then they created demons, or they fucked other spirits and entities, and they made a demon. One thing you should know, if you started magic and you're not doing your lesser banishing rituals of the pentagram, you're not doing your middle pillars and stuff like that, you're not continuing, but you started, you should really be. And I don't want to say this to scare you, and it's something a freighter told me, and I thought it was, well, not told me personally, but one of his newest videos, or one of his thought lives maybe a while back. But he mentioned the fact that there are low-level entities. They're not here, they're in the astral. I mean, you can see entities here, yes, but those entities can't affect you here. The only way those entities that are here that you can see can affect you is if you become fearful and you allow them to affect you, because that's the only power they can have over you. If you give them fear, if you fear them, because what your mind can do is amazing. If you think these entities can kill you and hurt you and all that, but you're going to trip and land on a fucking knife, and then you're going to think it's the entity whenever you pass on. Well, actually, you're going to know better. Like, I was a stupid one. But all that entity can do is scare you. So this is one of the first things I had to get over, was my fear of entities, spirits, ghosts, whatever you want to call it. Saints, gods, Jesus Christ himself. I didn't want to see Jesus. I was a devout Catholic, and if I would have seen Jesus or my dead family member at the end of my bed, I would have lost my shit. Now, it ain't fucking no thing, man. I see shit all the time. It don't matter. And I'm not fearful of it anymore, because I realize in this realm they can hurt you. However, on the astral plane, that is a whole different thing. You have an astral body on the astral plane. Now, when you dream, is that in the mental plane or the astral plane? I don't know. Are they connected? I don't know. But I do know you have a body on the astral plane. Now, when you're doing your lesser banishing and all that, you light up the astral plane. Technically, you're doing that within your head. So they are linked somehow. And I'm really good at visualization, but I was never so good on the focusing thing. ADD makes it very hard to focus. That's why I started focusing on a point, and I graduated and kept going up. And now I'm pretty good at fucking being able to meditate. Pretty darn good. I'm still way better at visualization. And that's one of Fraser's newest videos that will be coming out. He talks about 5 essential things to magic, but it's on his Patreon right now. It's a hell of a video. I'd play it, but, you know, it's not right to do shit like that. So I almost played his fucking one of his programs. My last podcast, I had a recording on there. I didn't know what it was. I just let it play in the autoplay, and it started off by being a sigil magic course, I think it was. So I had to stop it right away. I was like, oh, fuck, man. I don't need fucking his thought form coming at me. Son of a bitch, man. Imagine that. But anyways, all that's to say is, this original sin shit is bullshit, okay? Now, there is, like I said before many times, there is the whole, you put out energy, you get that energy back, okay? The material plane, we are part material and we are part spiritual. We are half and half. That is the polarity. That is the only polarity you need to focus on. Not this good versus evil, not this dark versus light, not this bad magic and good magic, white magic and light dark magic. None of that horse shit. None of that is nothing, okay? There is baneful acts. There is killing people for no reason and shit like that. Yeah, absolutely. But stop. The polarity that matters is the whole male and female, which is, this is why God is mostly attributed to a male, because the earth, the plane, is attributed to a female. Now, I'm not saying God isn't a female. It would make a hell of a lot more sense for God to be a female. I'm down with that. I agree with that 100%. That is just what it is. But there's both. And it's neither at the same time. So it's hard to wrap your head around. But this physical body I'm in right now, well, that's the female. You know, it accepted the soul that was projected into it. You know, the God, the source. So, but the soul goes back up when we die, and this gets exchanged, turns back into energy, and it gets renewed, and someone else gets a new body that forms from their mother, and this energy gets recycled from my body, and we put it in a box and put it in the ground, and we lock that box so tight that it takes a long time to decay, and it's like, no, burn my ass up or put me in the ground without a box, because I'm not paying my debt back to Mother Earth and making her wait to recycle my body, knowing that that might fucking prolong my death or some bullshit. Maybe that makes your DMT trip last longer. I don't know. Maybe that's the trick. But if you believe in heaven and hell, and you're trying to, and you think you're a bad person, anyways. Boy, I can go on. I can keep going on and on and on. But I really want to hit the idea home that we are physical and we are material, and to think just because we are born into this physical body that we are born with sin. And we got to go to a church every day just to say, I'm sorry for being a sinner, even though I don't know what I did. I know my ancestor did something and I got to pay that back. It's like, no. And please don't take this the wrong way, but even if you come from a bloodline that owns slaves and shit like that, okay, well, you know what? Some of your ancestors did some shitty things, you know, but that's not you. You didn't do those shitty things. So you don't have to pay anything back. They have to pay it back. I'm sure they're paying it back, but it's not up to you to pay it back. But So right off the hop, Venus, the V word he uses there, the earthly realm, your material debt is paid as soon as you're incarnated on here. Okay, just being here alone is hard enough. It's part of your debt paid. Now, this gets tricked on you. You get played a trick on, saying, no, it's original sin, you gotta repent, this, that, blah, 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 blah. It's like, that's all fucking bullshit. It's all there just to trick you. And like I said, I don't think it's done on purpose anymore. I think at this point it's just so way back in history that no one knows the truth anymore, that they've just been following this doctrine for so fucking long that it's just been lost in translation like everything else. And I don't think it's someone doing it on purpose to trick us anymore. I really don't. But that's enough about that. Now let's talk about the gods. Let's talk about the story. So, and the Titan story. Even if you watch the Titan movies, let's say Clash of the Titans, Remember the Titans, all that shit. Well, maybe not Remember the Titans, not the football movie, but you got the bigger gods. You got Zeus's dad, maybe Kronos, and all his monster dudes. Like I think a Titan was Medusa, maybe not Medusa. I don't know if she's a Titan or not. I think a Titan could kill a Titan, so Medusa's head was able to fucking do the Kraken or whatever. Really start cracking, you know, that shit. I work so intensely at my one job at Matrix, which is funny because that was the name of my job, was Matrix. It was a Shoppers Drug Mart warehouse, but that was so intense. I could always get the jobs done faster than everybody else, and I was always so angry on a dime kind of thing that my one buddy, he was a big guy, funny guy though, and he called me the Kraken. Like, oh no, and he always make jokes to people. Oh fuck, don't worry about it. We'll get to leave here early. We'll fucking unleash the Kraken, and Corey will get all the work done and all that. It was one of those jokes, and everybody laughed. But anyways, I like being called the Kraken. I wasn't gonna lie. And that's something something else I want to hit on, and maybe I shouldn't do it now, but Christianity. Everybody says the oldest story, and it is archetypal, and we do respond to it and whatever, but I was programmed with Christianity. I was never programmed with the God stuff, with let's say Greek mythology or even Roman mythology. But when I hear Roman mythology, it speaks to me. It makes sense to me. From the planets in the sky, like right now, I'm feeling an emotional response just talking about it. I feel it. I know there's truth to it, and I don't know how to explain. And you know, and that can be argued that, well, if you're programmed to believe that's real, then you can be. And I mean, point taken, right? The movies that I liked watching were all old medieval style movies with fucking axes and swords and about the gods and powers and all this shit. So maybe I got programmed by that as a kid. That's why it feels so real to me, and that could be it. It could have been planned. It could have been Hollywood programming my age group to believe that, so that whenever right now we're in our 30s and 40s, well, the people older than us are making this happen, the ones in Hollywood, and we're going to keep perpetuating it, and that's how we're going to change it from Christianity to believing in the gods. Who knows? Maybe this is the new religion, and we're just told it's no religion. Who the fuck knows? I don't believe that, but who the fuck knows? But in all honesty, from age 4, when I started going to school, I went to a Christian school, and I followed the Bible, and it was way more pronounced. That religion was way more pronounced than this one, and it was easier to let go of that programming than it would be to do this. And I don't want to let go of this programming because I know there's power in these things, because I invoke the God of the day, so to speak, almost every single day. I give an offering to the God of the day almost every single day. I've given offerings and invoked my ancestors and had power doing that. I've invoked Earth, Gaia, which is the planet we're on, and I've gotten material gains from that as well. So there's power in this, whereas I've prayed to God and it was hit or miss. Sometimes circumstances lined up and I got what I prayed for, sometimes it didn't. Whereas this is working almost every single time, but it's programming I had to put in my head for it to work. Once again, it's still the same. But it just makes you think. This reaches you on a subconscious, to me anyways. It floors me. I feel the power of the planets and the gods and all that. But in the Old Testament, in the book of Enoch, they talk about the Nephilim. They talk about the Watchers, the fallen angels, all this shit, right? And when I hear that story, I hear the new gods against the old gods, is what I hear. I hear, yeah, it's not exactly the same, because it's like the Bible is also trying to get rid of the new gods, which would be the 7 planets, because if you Wikipedia it, it's going to say, if you Wikipedia how many fallen angels were there, you're going to hear 7 most of the time. Reference the 7 planets and stupid shit like that. But then it's like 200 or 100 or so many different things. And like I said before, there's so many misconceptions and stupidity, like fucking they're demons that fell with Lucifer, but yet they're angels. How can angels be demons? No, demons are below the angels. So if these are fallen angels, they're no longer demons, they're still angels. Lucifer ain't no demon. He is called the devil by stupid, ignorant people, but the devil is not the same person as Lucifer, which isn't the same person as Satan. And I don't care who you are, those are 3 different thought forms. Thought forms. Lucifer, Morningstar, could be an aspect of Venus, which makes it most likely the most powerful one out of the 3. Not really, because Saturn would be an aspect of Satan, so Saturn is arguably more powerful than Venus, but it depends on what you're trying to go for. And Lucifer is part of Mars, so really, all 3 of them are planets. And once again, there's 3 of your fucking deities right there, your fallen angels. Most people think those 3 people are the same fucking person. Yet it's 3 different planets that are within your body. And those people are cursing that. What do you think happens to those people when they're cursing Lucifer, Satan, and the devil? They're cursing their root chakra, their heart chakra, and their solar plexus chakra. So how successful do you think they're going to be if they're a Christian witch or a Christian New Ager trying to align their chakras, and yet they're saying they're condemning the devil and the Mars, and they're condemning... No, so I said solar plexus, that's wrong. Mars would have been... It depends on where you place these, by the way, but Mars would be... Where do you want to put Mars? That's something I truly believe when it comes to chakras. See, my lineup of chakras might be different from yours. Now, you can put Jupiter up here, you can put Jupiter down there, your sacral. I think that depends for a guy or girl. Next one up, solar plexus, normally goes to the sun. But there's different sun and moon aspects going up here to be enlightened and all that. Third eye, I always used to pick for Mercury, but there's so many variations. So, and being that Mars rules Scorpio rules the testicles, well, that's your sacral chakra, right? So, it all depends. So, and I mean, most places that's what you see. You see the sacral, and you see Saturn and Mars at the bottom. But I always have a problem with that because I know the moon frequency is for your sacral, and there's moon energy down there too. So once again, that's up to the practitioner. And here's the thing with the glands within your body, like Gemini's, your lungs and your arms, but there's parts of Gemini that are in your head, there's parts of Gemini, Mercury, that are up here and down there. Whereas Jupiter are your fucking feet, and that's not even on the chakra system. So, but anyways, I'm way off the topic. I'm not even talking about what I want to talk about. But people that are condemning those 3 entities, instead of condemning those entities, do a little bit of research and try to figure out where you can find some middle ground. Where you can find some middle ground potentially, where you don't have to worry about. Because the devil and Satan and Lucifer are not going to come harm you. Once again, nothing in this realm can harm you. Even if you start seeing entities outside of you coming at you, shadow people, whatever you want to call it, attack you. They can't affect you. Someone's thought form sent at you, protect earth spirits, water spirits, fairies, whatever. Those kind of spirits, yes, potentially. Not necessarily harm you, but they can fuck with you. But your own ancestors are going to do that. When Samhain comes around, Samhain, when Samhain comes around, which is the real Halloween, and you don't leave a fucking plate out for supper and offering for your ancestors, well, your own ancestors are going to fuck with you. This is your own bloodline. These are thought forms. And I don't care how you attribute to it. Whether it's been programmed into us because so many pagan religions around the world performed this, from Norse traditions to, oh my God, I can't even name them all because I don't even know them all. But they all did this. So it's embedded in our unconscious. And we're still keeping it alive by doing Halloween and All Saints Day, which is 31st to November 1st within Christianity. And we're doing it within all these other traditions as well. So it's alive and well, this tradition. So whether your belief is not needed, if you don't leave an offering, they're going to hide your chariot keys. They're going to spoil your milk. They're going to fucking, and they're your family, so they don't fuck with you that bad. But the point is, if your own family will fuck with you if you don't leave an offering, what happens whenever you fucking cut your grass and you piss off an earth spirit? Or you fucking, you piss in a fucking pool and the fucking water spirits decide to fuck up your plumbing. I don't know what pisses off the water spirits. Maybe you leave pollution in the water. That would probably do it. You know, and same thing with fire. You fucking do something stupid to the fire, disrespect it, don't treat it like a holy object. Well, the same thing with smoke and air. You know, you just fucking... Those things can fuck with you. But regular spirits, made up fucking thought forms like the devil, Lucifer, and shit like that, you have to allow that to affect you because it's like this group egregore. And that might be how it happened. That may be how it evolved. It started off as maybe Lucifer, and then it evolved into Satan, or maybe it was Satan, sorry, and then it evolved into Lucifer, and it evolved into devil. And, you know, it's just going to keep evolving. But especially with people watching a show called Lucifer, we're all adding to that. I mean, I watch that show, but we're adding. I mean, I don't. Well, I don't think I am, because of all the protections I put up when I watch that show, the statements of intent, the sigil I have specifically just for that show that I make to protect me, the transforming sigil I use to transform any energy I may put into there to something I can use instead. I have this process when I watch TV now, because I know how important it is. Where energy goes, where your focus goes, energy flows. That's something to that effect. But anyways, what you expand on grows, right? So, but everybody who's watching that show is putting more power into Lucifer. And people are trying to bring back fucking Satan or whatever. He's coming back to fucking kill us all. Or it's Christ coming back. Or it's going to be both of them fighting each other. It's like, fuck off. Fucking horse shit. Here's the thing. Everybody's putting in good energy into Lucifer, thinking he's the good guy. Everybody's putting negative energy into Archangel Michael. So what do you think happens? Well, Archangel Michael's going to get more powerful. Because negative energy is going to go increase, but everybody's changing their awareness on what Lucifer is. So anyways, that's not what I want to talk about. But what I want to talk about is the Titan story. So Zeus apparently his dad wanted to kill him or whatever. I don't know. It comes back, it sounds like the Mesopotamian story almost in a nutshell. You know, the Mesopotamian story is basically that the sun and Tiamat are mom and dad, and then they have these kids, Zeus and Saturn, but the first two are actually Venus and Mars, I'm pretty sure anyways, and then Zeus and Saturn, and then Uranus, and then Mercury. Well, Mercury's already there. Mercury's the right-hand man of the sun, and he can go wherever he wants at this point. Pluto is way up with Jupiter or Saturn right now, not all the way past back there. Uranus and Neptune are all there, but they're too loud, and they're pissing off mom, so dad's gonna fucking kill them while they find out. So they kill dad, or they find a way to get dad to stay where he is so they can't affect him. This pisses off mom, and mom says they gotta go. This is Tiamat. And every one of them wants to go up against mom, but they all bitch out. They're scared of Tiamat. Tiamat is where the asteroid belt is. And so they're all scared. So I forget the name of them, but it starts with an M, which is kind of significant, especially for like Archangel Metatron and Enoch. Oh, did you know there's some places where they think Enoch was actually Hermes and Thoth? Yeah, so this is why what I'm saying, I want you to really think about this. I think the Bible story is a version of Zeus and the Titans against the 7 gods, okay? But then it was changed, perverted to get you to fucking not believe in any gods that can empower you. But I think originally it might have been that Enoch was actually Mercury, because he became an archangel. Archangel Michael, not Raphael, but still, nonetheless, you know? But anyways, so yeah, they're going against Tiamat, and they find, I forget his name, starts with an M. But anyways, and he is either Planet X, Nibiru, or Sirius, but somebody within our atmosphere that goes like this. So we're all around the sun like this, he's going like this. And he comes in and hits Tiamat. Tiamat gets this big, it's described as demons, but an army of demons to fight against her kids. But it doesn't matter. What's his name comes down and fucking takes her out. Boom! And then our Earth and the moon are both created from that. It's half God and half demon, or something like that. That's how it's explained. It's kind of like us. We're half God, half demon, right? It's what they say, earthly realm demon. Up there, godly. You know, it's just bullshit. It's not. It's just a way primitive people that didn't understand things tried to explain it to us. And that's how we got to take it. We don't got to take it for word, thinking people that didn't have the same brain capacity as us knew better than us and knew it. And I'm not dissing them. They did the best they could, and we can interpret it the way we want. But it's the stupid, dumb, ignorant, and primitive people of today assuming that those people knew exactly what they were talking about how many years ago. It's like, fuck off. They knew a lot, and I'm grateful for everything they taught us, but no, it's not that. I'm not half demon. I'm not half God. I'm either a complete God or a complete demon. And, you know, it's not it. I'm half material. I'm half soul. At night, I can experience my soul. And during the day, I have to experience the material. And that's just the fucking way it goes. But anyway, so that's that story, right? So, and then the Zeus story is very similar. His dad, he doesn't want his dad wants to kill him, and Zeus likes his power and all that, so they fucking tie his dad up, and I forget where, but it's one of the deep parts of Hades, and him and his two brothers, Poseidon, which would be Neptune, and Hades, which would be, I don't know, can't say Mars, really, but I guess it would be Pluto, maybe, Pluto. So Pluto, Neptune, and Saturn, no, Pluto, Neptune, and Zeus keep Saturn at bay. I guess, if you think Cronus is Saturn, because of Father Time and all that. So it's not completely accurate in that way. But the point is, it's a similar story, right? They're mad at their dad, and they lock up their dad or whatever, and they create this big thing. They put it down. It's not on a different planet. But then, so it's the 7 new gods. The old gods retiring, basically. It's a way to explain how the old gods aren't around anymore, and these are the new gods coming out. So this is what Romans did it with the Greek mythology. They just changed the names, but it's the same mythology, right? But it's just a way to explain that. So how does the Bible come out? Well, the Bible's telling everybody that, well, the old gods are the 7. All right, and this is paraphrasing in my speculation, but it's the 7. Well, the 12 or the 9 that are up there, right? They're the bad ones. They're the bad guys. And our God, Yahweh, is going to save us from that. And Enoch is the one saying, no, you got to stop fucking with God. He already kicked out Lucifer and all that, blah, blah, blah. And like Lucifer and all the Watchers and all that, they come down, they impregnate the women and all that. And there's 7 of them, right? Which could be the 7 planets and all that. And bad ones that everyone else follows after. And, you know, they all get sent to fucking hell and whatever else. It's, you know, it's the same fucking story. It's the old gods retiring, and here's your new God you guys got to believe. But it's like, no, that doesn't work. The other story works better for me. But here's the other thing I want to explore. There's 12, like I said in the book of Enoch, he talks about portals quite a bit and all that. It's very astrological, the book of Enoch. For the book of Enoch saying that you shouldn't follow fucking astrology, and the Watchers came down and taught them the works of astrology and how to sharpen blades and how to put makeup on their eyelids and all this other blah, 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 spellcraft and how to use roots and plants. Well, he condemns astrology, but yet Archangel Ariel teaches them a whole lot about astrology. He talks about how the sun comes up in a different portal every 30 fucking days, and 12 different portals fucking in 364 days. Well, what is he talking about? He's talking about the 12 constellations that the sun's in every 30 days. He talks about the moon doing the same fucking thing, except the moon goes through every sign every fucking 2.5 to 3 fucking days. But it's all astrological. That first book anyways is mostly astrological. So I can see why the Bible left it out, because you can't be condemning astrology and then teaching about astrology. So, you know what this tells me? It tells me that where it says the Watchers came down and taught astrology wasn't originally astrology, because in the book of Enoch, he's being taught astrology by Archangel Ariel. He gets brought up to heaven and he shows him all this shit. He sees the sun, and he sees the God with the beard and all this. He sees all these other... It's remarkable, but what's happening here? Well, you have the archangels, and you have gods, and all this. And it ends up adding up to, I think there's like 7. He uses Nathaniel. Metatron's the added one, which would be like Mercury, like I said, like Thoth, like Hermes, right? He gets added there. He's the one who talks. He comes down and talks to Earth. He goes up there and he talks to the gods, right? He's the messenger. But before that, there's the 5 archangels. There's 5 archangels, right? This is before Metatron. 5 archangels plus God, okay? So that's 6. And then you add Metatron, that makes 7. You know what I mean? So, same story. You have the 7, but focus only on the one God. The rest are just angels that rule everything else. But you have these 7 that are kicking ass and getting rid of all the old gods. But you're just believing in the same gods over and over and over again. It's the 4 directions, you know? Like, and I mean... Well, what are the 4 directions? Well, in the east, you have Saturn, you have Mercury, and you have the sun. In the west, you have the moon, and you have Jupiter. And then that was, yeah, no, that's east and west. And then north you have Venus, and south you have fucking Mars. Archangel, fucking Michael is Mars, is in the south. In the north is Archangel Ariel, the worldly plane. That's why she's teaching astrology to Enoch, because it's the earthly plane, it's the earth angel, it's Archangel Ariel, the ruler of earth in the earthly quarter, right? And then Saturn, Old Testament God, the Sun, New Testament God, Mercury, Enoch. He gets brought up there with them and learns all this shit, right? And then over here you have Jupiter, which is Zeus, and you have the moon. Well, which is, anyways, but I've already talked about Apollo and the moon way back, but anyway, there's your water. But it's the 7, and that's Gabriel's down there. Archangel Gabriel's down there for the water ones, and then Archangel Raphael's over there in the top quarter, right? And they mentioned Nathaniel. I don't know where the Nathaniel goes. That's the extra one that I don't know about. So that's probably the second one for there, where Raphael would be. There has to be 2 there before Enoch gets there. But anyways, so that's just a little bit about the book of Enoch and how it's very astrological. And that tells me that when they condemn astrology, they're condemning something else, and they flip the fucking script. But anyways, so that's what I wanted to say, is that the Bible is flipping the script. It's doing the same, well, the Old Testament anyways, it's doing the same thing that the 7 planets did to their gods. They got rid of the old gods and they have the new gods. It's the same thing as the Mesopotamian story. They want to bound the old gods and be the new gods. Same thing we're playing over and over and over again. Except now, for some reason, we're supposed to believe in only one God. But here's the problem. When you only fucking follow the sun, okay, well, then you can only get sunly things. So if you're praying for something and you do everything right, and it's within the sun's realm, right? If you're asking maybe for stardom or for friends or something that the sun can help you with, maybe to be illuminated, maybe, you know, whatever, then and you do it in the right astrological time, then maybe your prayers come true. And maybe you're praying to Jesus and you're doing more of a water theme and emotional thing. So maybe you hit Zeus up a little bit because it's kind of Jupiter, you know. Then maybe you get lucky there. But other than that, you know, if you start praying to Mary, well, then you might hit up the moon and you might get lucky that way. Or maybe you're going to hit Venus if you're doing plant stuff with Mary, because Mary does both, right? But it's so fucked, man. How they fucking twist this shit on us. And I hate shitting on the Bible because I really think it's helpful, but I don't know what to do anymore. The more I try to defend the Bible, the more I realize it really is there and fucking people up. Because there's so much power in astrology, man. There's so much power in knowing the stars. I know it's overwhelming when you start, but you just start, and then it just starts coming to you. I mean, if you just know the planets and which ones are water and earth planets, you can do so much with just that. And then from there, you can build yourself up with transits and which planets play good together and which ones don't, and where they are in your chart, so on and so forth. And you go on from fucking there. Anyways, sorry. I keep hearing that fucking squeaking. It's bugging the shit out of me, man. It's bugging the shit out of me. I have no idea what it is. If it's a fucking rat, I mean, I got rat traps. I don't want to use them, but what do you do, man? If you leave rats, they're going to breed more rats. This is one of those things, like, if you don't believe in killing animals, and I don't believe in eating animals, but I can have a beer right now, and I'm about to light up a fucking smoke. I say, well, Corey, what the fuck? That's not very fucking holy. You're trying to be holier than thou. Yeah, but here's the thing. A little bit of poison each day keeps the doctor away. And you can say, well, that's not true. And it's, oh, yeah? Okay, well, what about this virus thing? If our kids are taking in no viruses, what happens the first time they come into contact with a little bit of virus? Well, they're going to be fucked right up. They're going to get sicker than all hell because they never built up any antibodies against it. They haven't taken a little bit of virus, but their immune system will fight against it. A little bit, fight against it. All of a sudden, they go from nothing to just a little bit of virus, but they've never seen it before, so they get taken right out. So it's the same thing. If you can maintain enough smoking to not harm yourself where your immune system can't fight up against it, then you could probably smoke your entire life. If you can maintain enough drinking, and I'm not trying to promote this stuff, drinking, drugs, or smoking, I don't believe in it. I think everybody should stop doing it, and I'm going to be working on a plan as well. But if you take in a little bit, I got a story about my mom whenever they were kids. So there was this bad, my mom's uncles, rather, okay? My mom's uncles, and it was my grandmother and all her brothers and sisters, okay? There was a bad flu, a bad bug that was killing everybody in the little town of Somerstown, wherever they came from. It was Somerstown, as far as I know. Anyways, they were dying from this. And word got out that, you drink a little bit of booze, a little bit of alcohol, and you'll be fine. And my grandmother was underage at this time. There was a few of them underage, but their parents allowed it. So every night for, I think, I don't know, a week period, they would give them, I think it was 3 ounces, 3 shots. And I mean, that was pretty fucking terrible, right? Think about that. That's pretty bad. Imagine giving your kid 3 shots. But a bug going around killing everybody. Kind of reminds you of today. But anyways, and my one uncle was older and he didn't believe in drinking. He said, no, I'm not doing that. And he died. My mom's uncle. She never met him. Because he died. Because he's the only one that didn't drink the alcohol. And because of that, whatever, I don't know if it's the poison from the alcohol that killed the bug in the system. I don't know what it was. I can't even tell you because they don't know what disease it was. I couldn't find out the disease because it wasn't in the papers, because it was just a small little concealed thing that the government didn't want to know. I can't find any information upon it because I'm so curious about it. But I know it's true. It's my family. Why would they lie to me about something like that? And they showed me my uncle dying and all that, and there was no autopsy. They don't know the cause of death. Said at that time it wasn't uncommon to die by the flu. And we made leaps and bounds. Anyways, I'm all over the place now. I'm not even talking about what I should be talking about. I hope I hit a point here. I hope I said something worth something here and not just bashing on the Bible. But yeah, the gods, the planets, those are the gods. Those are the real gods. But they're within you. You're the real god, technically, and these planets are within you. The 12 zodiac signs, those are also within you. You'll see a lot of the time there'll be 12 bad guys and there'll be 7 good guys, something like that, or vice versa, right? Well, the 12 zodiacs are the 12 animals that, I forget how you put it, but anyways, sometimes you'll see 24, sometimes you'll see 12, numbers like that, right? And then 7, sometimes 9, these are all powerful numbers. Well, that's why there's 7 and 9 planets. There's 12 houses and there's 12 zodiac signs, which makes 24. Add all those numbers up together, it's... Anyways, point is, the planets in the zodiacs act good or act bad. Okay, so sometimes that's your bad, that's your torment. And anybody saying, I watched Ralph Smart's video saying about, we're about to enter Scorpio time, blah, 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 blah. He's not wrong about that shit. But in the same sense, it's more about you than it is about the world. Now, you're going to see effects in the world. What happens, the way the stars control us and all that, for people that are ignorant, that are ruled by the stars, they're going to be affected. But here's the thing. When you do a magical curriculum like I'm doing, or you start a year and a day, you become a witch, whatever the case is, part of my curriculum is getting in sync with nature. I got to say something 4 times a day at specific times to line myself up with the sun. Likewise, I do things every fucking full moon, every new moon, every fucking quarters. Likewise, the 8 Sabbats of the year, the fucking equinoxes and the fucking... Oh, man. I always forget one of these. Equinox means equal night and equal day. What's the other fucking one? Fuck. Anyways, so the 2 equinoxes... Oh, solstices. So there's 2 solstices, winter and the summer solstice, and the 2 equinoxes, okay? Those are 4 holy days of the year. I pay homage to those to get me in sync as well. And then I also have my other 4 Sabbats, like I just mentioned. The May Day. There's the May Day one. There's, what I just said. Holy fuck, I'm bad there. Samhain. Anyways, there's all these holy days of the year, right? That helps me line up. There's so many exercises that I have in my curriculum that help get me in sync with nature. Why do I get in sync with nature? Because I'm trying to affect nature. This is the physical realm. You can pray to Source all you want for whatever you want. He's not within the physical realm. He's part of you. He's experiencing shit through you. You got to talk to your divine, to your subconscious mind, get something in there for it to filter down into reality. But technically, it's not going all the way up to source. It's going to, what's above Malkuth? That's Yesod, Yesod. On the tree of life, there's Malkuth, that's the kingdom, and it's Yesod. That's the astral plane. All right? Source is all the way at the top, where the crown is. That's source. You're sending your shit up there, it's taking a long time to get back down. You're sending one up to Yesod. And then it trickles back down to you. You got to put so much energy in something. But if you affect nature, if you're in sync with nature, then it's easier to talk things into being, okay? This is how, in my opinion, this is how I developed Gnosis. Gnosis is being able to trigger and instantly talk to your subconscious mind. Now, I know the word Gnosis means intelligence. It means knowledge, rather, sorry. And, you know, Gnostics are people that don't believe in or trying to find God, or they can't. I forget how. It's in Wikipedia, but to me, that's not the right. And this is one of the, it was part of Frederick Xavier's new video. For me, the way I achieved Gnosis, or part of my Gnosis anyways, and this may not make sense at all, that's the best I can come up with, because I literally speak things into reality. I literally banish thoughts. And if I banish a thought about it's going to rain, while it's raining, if I say, no, I banish that thought and I accept that it's going to be sunny, it'll literally clear up in minutes. Likewise, when I'm in a fucking bad mood, or when I cried recently, there was fucking downpours of rain here. There was big fucking bad things happening in, like, places in the States nearby, like flash fucking flooding, you know what I mean? So I can affect my reality because I'm in sync with nature. And this is one of the ways I've achieved a type of Gnosis, where I can speak things into being, because I can talk to my subconscious directly. That's what Gnosis is. So most people have to implant sigils, have to put a suggestion into the subconscious mind, then it filters down, because you put so much energy into the thing you wanted that it appears in the astral plane. And then when you banish and you get rid of that sigil, you burn it, you light it up, put it in the ground, well, now you no longer have the thing down here. So whatever's up in the astral filters down here. So you filter down whatever you put energy into. So the longer you hold on to that sigil, it's not going to come in, but you got to charge it, you got to light it up, you got to make sure you do all the steps correctly. But by being in sync with nature, now going out in nature every day is great, and it's going to help you become in sync with nature, especially women. Women, when they go camping, their menstrual cycles sync up with nature. My wife doesn't do magic, yet she can talk things into existence as well. Better when we're gone camping or outside a lot, she can do some pretty cool shit. It's like, man, I know why. Because women get their initiation through stuff like their period and all that, right? They are nature. They are the one that selects their mate. They're the one that procreate. If a woman decides she's not having sex, well, then she's not making babies. Men, we can decide, hey, I want to have sex, but if a girl doesn't fuck us, then we can either force it on them and try to, but odds of us having a kid that one time are very seldom. But you know what I mean? Point is, they are nature, and they get so many more bullshit they got to go through than men. Us men like to pretend like we got it so bad, but girls got it worse than us. But this is the trade-off. When girls do magic, they're fucking a lot more powerful than we are. And I'm blessed to have more of a female energy, meaning like my negative planets, my girl planets are in girl signs, are neutral signs, and my guy planets are in girl signs. So I have more of a negative vibe to me, which helps me be receptive and have different occult, not powers, but, you know, abilities and shit like that. But nonetheless, my wife, if she was to start doing the initiate grade, she'd blow me out of the water. Blow me out of the water. Unbelievably blow me the fuck out of the water. It'd be incredible. But anyways, all that's to say is, I don't even know where the fuck I was going with that. Oh yeah, but yeah, you just gotta send things up to the side. You're not sending it up to fucking the source. It's the material plane you got. But that's how I developed my Gnosis. And I think through programming myself with sigils over and over again, saying that, you know, I made sigils to put in my subconscious to make me be able to manifest faster. Like, that was what my sigil was about. It wasn't like, I will $10,000. No, it was, I will that my ability to manifest is 7-fold faster than everybody else's. I will that I can manifest with just my words. And this is why I had to specify a spot where I manifest. I had to make sure my manifestation only happens at my altar, because speaking things into existence got a little dangerous at some points. But now with my Gnosis, But me being able to, and I never knew what the word was for this. I keep saying gnosis because Frederick Xavier just talked about it on his Inner Circle newest video on Patreon. And it's like, fuck, thank God I never knew what the fuck this was. You know, Birch talked about it a while back, like it's a way of life. You know, you can just do magic from within your head. It's like, there's no way I'm where Birch is, but like, I know what he's talking about. And, well, this is what he was talking about. And this is what it is. It's called gnosis, or according to Frederick Xavier, it's called gnosis. And I have that state of gnosis now. And I think it's because I synced up with nature. But this is also what I was talking about earlier. Well, it's not really related, but in the astral, the entities that are up there, they can feed on your astral body. So if you lit up the astral and you're not doing your lesser banishings of the pentagram anymore, well, you might have somebody eating on you. And what did I just say? What happens up there filters down here. So it's not like you're going to be some entity fucking eating on you, but the entity up there might have a counterpart down here, and that thing might be around you in the house and making you fearful and doing things to you. Likewise, you might start having pain somewhere and stuff like that. I don't know. This is unexplained, uncharted territory for me. I don't really know. Because I don't know. I've never seen those entities. I've never been up there on the astral. I've never astral traveled. The only closest I get is when I do it in my imagination. So in my imagination, if I want to go, let's say, to Buddy's house that I don't like, that I talk about often, that I tried cursing and hexing, well, if I go in my mind and I project myself in the astral and I see his soul there and I start stabbing his soul until he dies, well, then I can potentially try to kill somebody like that. And that's a possibility. If you wanted to kill somebody, that's one way to do it. And I don't know if it works or not, but that's why I've read that in books. So there's a lot of bad things people can do. And people say, well, you can't do anything bad using magic. Well, bullshit. There's a lot of bad things you can do doing magic, and that's one of them. Now, I'm not actually in the astral, and thank God for that, because maybe this is the reason why I can't astral travel yet, because maybe I would have done that. So I'm thankful, because I don't want to kill anybody. I don't even have that much animosity towards them anymore. I mean, if I seen them, it might be a little different, but anyways, I'm rambling on and on and on here. All I want to say is I do things to affect nature, and now I reap the benefits from that. But there's a reason you want to affect nature, and you can pray to source and be out of your head, and meditation is probably the single best thing you can do for magic, for everything, because you're connecting your mind, making your hippocampus bigger, all these things bigger. I said this in one of my first videos, like more than a year ago now. But if you want to affect nature, there's certain little things you do, and once you affect nature, like I said, you open that root chakra, you get a connection to the Earth Star chakra. That's why that one's so important. Not only are you getting energy coming up, it's coming up from the ground. There's a connection there. Bam. You can't use the Earth Star chakra yet, not to your advantage anyways. Not until you connect all of them, you start learning about other ones, but you're still getting energy up there. Anyways, I'm going to let that go. There's a lot of information there, and anything I left open, you can look up yourself and figure out. And like I said, if this is a podcast, I'm going to play the thing from NEP Hall after. And if this is just the video you're watching with my sexy ass face on it, then yeah, this will be the end of it. But maybe I'll do the fucking link. I haven't been doing links. I don't really care anymore. I get fucking copyright claims left, right, and center. None of this shit matters. And the light's off, so I guess that's my cue. Thank you for tuning in. Have yourself a great fucking day.